Usually, I always describe it as when I walk into a showroom and I see a sofa or a chandelier or a great area rug, but usually like it has to kind of make my heart flutter or do a little pitter pat. Like it's like, oh my gosh, I have to have that for such and such client, or I have to have that for my own home, or this is so unusual. I've never seen anything as great as this.
Are you ready to learn how to grow your interior design business? Welcome to the lounge, the Chaise Lounge. So get comfortable, grab a glass of Cabernet, and let's talk the business of interior design. Now, here's your host, Nick May.
Well, welcome and thanks for joining me today in the lounge. I'm Nick May, your host, and today we're going to be talking about growing your interior design business. So whether you're in Chicago, Milan, or Sioux Falls, North Dakota, I know you want to do one thing. You want to grow your interior design business, and we're going to do just that by going to High Point, North Carolina, and growing your interior design business. Today's a special episode where I'm going to talk to style spotter Michelle Wiebe, who actually owns her own interior design firm down in Tampa, Florida. But she has been a part of High Point, North Carolina for many, many years, and she's a part of one of these kind of special groups. She's a style spotter, but she's more than just a style spotter. She's like the head leader style spotter. Very excited to do an interview with her today on the show. Before we jump into my interview with Michelle, I have to remind you, as I always do, please connect with me through iTunes, through Stitcher, through our website at thechaiseloungepodcast.com. Over there, lots of ways to get additional information. We always have show notes on whoever we speak to, and there are links. And one of the things you're going to want to do is we're going to put a link over in the show notes for High Point, North Carolina, their website. And over there, you're going to see all of the events and things that are happening in High Point coming up on April 16th through the 20th. So if you are going, that's definitely the place you want to go to plan and organize your trip to High Point. So very excited about my interview with Michelle, so we're going to just jump right in. So in the lounge today, I've got Michelle Wiebe. Michelle, where are you in the world?
Where am I in the world? Nick, I am talking to you from Tampa, Florida, where I own an interior design business.
And what's the name of your interior design business? Studio
M.
All right.
We specialize in luxury residential new construction and projects all over Florida and a handful outside of Florida. So,
have you done this very long?
This is actually our 25th anniversary year. We took our staff to a big getaway in early February to start celebrating the 25th year. But again, I started when I was like 8 years old. So, but it's good.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. Amazingly, it's gone by quickly, but had a lot of fun along the way. And we have some fun goals and plans. We set a vision for the next 10 years as well at our retreat. So it's exciting. Exciting times.
I love setting vision and looking out in the future. That's one of the things I love to do. My wife is always telling me, all right, you need to be more present. Like, okay, we're not like 5 years in the future.
Let's just focus on today. I know. Well, you're probably kind of type A like I am, so that's okay.
Well, today we want to talk a little bit about High Point Market that's coming up very soon, just in a couple of weeks. April 16th to the 20th, right?
That is correct, yeah.
You have a kind of an interesting association with market. Why don't you tell me first, how long have you been going to market?
Well, I have been going to market, again, almost since I started the business. So I would say a good 25 years, and I might have even gone a year or two before that when I was still in college. So I have been going as a buyer for our firm, and we usually take some of our other designers with us, so for eons. However, market invited me, I believe it's been 3 years ago, to become part of their Style Spotter panel. And what the Style Spotters do, it's a group of 9 folks, and they're selected really from all over North America, and then they usually have one other international person as well. But there's 9 of us, and we're kind of tasked with finding the hottest things at market. And each year the group changes. So the style spotters basically pick the hottest things that they're seeing at market. And then that's kind of put out on all the High Point Market, website, marketing, social media, and then of course all the style spotters kind of get the word out there too.
How do they pick the style spotters?
Yeah, that's interesting. Now I'm starting to know that a little bit because they've asked me to kind of lead the group now each year, and then I also help select the group. But they're really looking for interior designers that obviously have a great portfolio, a great business. There's usually like one or two design bloggers also, but we're looking for people from different parts of the country. So meaning, we don't want everyone from Texas. So usually you have a West Coast or California, New York, Southeast, Midwest, and so forth. And again, usually they have one person that's from outside the country as well. But then they also want you to have a great social media presence. We honestly kind of look at all the candidates because we actually get a ton of applications, a ton of
oh, that's great. I was going to ask. Yeah.
There's a link on the High Point Market website if you go to Style Spotters, and I'm not sure if the link to apply, if they've taken it down since the current group's been picked, but usually there's a link there that you can apply. And again, there's a selection committee, if you will, that chooses the group, and we whittle it down to these eight other people plus me. But I'm really excited about the 2016 group. I mean, I've loved all of them, but it's fun with the new group coming in, and it's great design talent, and so I'm excited for it.
Can you share with us a few of those folks that are on that panel, or is it kind of top secret?
We have Scott Meacham Wood, coming from the San Francisco area, a great interior designer, also has launched a fabric line recently. Ann Sage she has had a book just come out this past year. Again, probably a little more of a blogging presence. Erica Ward from Atlanta, Georgia. We have Laura Umansky from Texas. It's a great group, but there's 8 of them. So
what are they tasked with? What are they doing to spot styles?
I think this is your first time at High Point Market, and I think you're going to be amazed because typically when you've gone to a show or a market or a convention, it's kind of like all in one building almost, where High Point is totally different in that it's almost 12 million square feet covering, it's like in 180 different buildings, if you can imagine. So this group of 9 people kind of sets out in market, and they go to all these different showrooms and buildings. And again, usually we're setting our schedules up ahead of time, so we know which showrooms, certain style spotters may have a certain design look, so they have certain vendors and showrooms that they're most attracted to. But, usually I always describe it as when I walk into a showroom and I see a sofa or a chandelier or a great area rug, but usually like it has to kind of make my heart flutter or do a little pitter pat. Like it's like, oh my gosh, I have to have that for such and such client, or I have to have that for my own home, or this is so unusual. I've never seen anything as great as this. So it has to be something special because you literally see thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of product over the course of time that you're there.
Right.
And so it just has to be something that just, again, kind of gets your adrenaline going. And it's funny, just through word of mouth and buzz and, again, pre-market Twitter chats or whatever, there will be a couple of the style spotters, I'm sure, because it happens every market, that they're all vying to get to some manufacturer first because they've seen a pre-market introduction of a great new chair that's coming out or whatever, and they're trying to get there to pick it first, because you can't, once someone's chosen something, another style spotter can't also pick it. Once it's been chosen, it's chosen. And of course you want to have the greatest things picked, because once you select your items, you're also posting them to a Pinterest board that's on the High Point Market Authority's website. Kind of in real time, other people that are attending market can kind of see also what the style spotters are picking, and it hopefully makes some of the other people attending market even want to go see that showroom or manufacturer or, particular piece of furniture or whatever. So it's interesting, but it's something special, and it's going to be different for each person probably overall. Again, usually there's a few really hot things that kind of have wide market appeal, but it's usually some people really spend a lot of time in the antique district where other designers might have a little more of a contemporary vibe or flair. So it will be unique to each style spotter.
So I'm imagining these style spotters have to wear their running shoes because that's a lot of square footage to cover in the matter of a couple of days.
It is. And we don't wear running shoes, but definitely.
Oh, I'm sure everyone's dressed to the nines. I mean, I went to school in the South, so I know what it's like.
Yeah, exactly. But definitely comfortable shoes, because typically we go from like 7 in the morning until easily 10 or 11 at night, because there's usually parties and showroom launches like in the evenings as well, or some type of dinners. And so they're like 16-hour days. Yes, wear comfortable shoes, Nick.
I have been warned. I met a lot of people at another event that I was at recently, and I was telling them I'm going to market, and they said, well, oh my gosh, if this is your first market, you are going to be blown away, and it's going to be overwhelming, Nick, so just go slow.
Be ready. But I'm excited for you because it's so awesome. I really do feel it's one of the best furniture markets internationally, but I would definitely say in the United States, like hands down. It's neat that the furniture industry, the history is in North Carolina. A lot of the American-made furniture is still made in North Carolina. And just the Southern hospitality of the showrooms and the people working at market, it's just, you really don't find it. It's not like any other market really you'll go to. So it's special. And I know I'm associated with it, but I do enjoy it. And to me, it's definitely the best one. So I'm excited that you get to see it.
One of the things I talk about on the show, Michelle, a lot is that I'm the dumb guy in the room. So I get to ask the dumb questions. And I don't know if this is a dumb question or not, but...
There are no dumb questions.
Is market free? Like, I have not seen, like, buy tickets here or...
Okay, that is a good question. It is. Well, to enter market itself, there is no charge for. You do need a buyer's pass.
Okay.
Or, well, for you may be more like a press pass or an industry pass.
This is going to be cool because I finally get my press pass. I'm very excited.
Oh, good. So perfect. There's no charge for that. And it will say press on it. So when you go to showrooms, they may direct you more to their marketing person or, because they know you're not going to go buy 100 sofas or whatever from them.
Right.
But of course, the actual cost of market is more your accommodations, car, airplane, that type of thing.
Yeah. And so the average designer that would come, they just need to have their buyer's pass, and then everything else is just getting there and enjoying the events that everything is going to be involved with.
Exactly. Do you have your hotel booked, by the way?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And I did that weeks ago, and that was still hard.
It is, because people almost book a market in advance. Like, you basically, you'll leave April's market and you really should be booking your October accommodations. It's crazy. So
yeah, I was thinking about that. I should probably book October's now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So what else is happening at market? I wanted to talk to you a little bit. It's not just going and seeing the styles and the new things that are coming out. What else is there to be involved with at market?
There are so many things. Again, I typically go up anywhere from 5 to 7 days, and our calendar, again, I take some of our designers. I mean, it is completely full each and every day. So we will attend. There's some great educational seminars, CEUs. Again, there will be a lot of showroom parties. They may be launching a new designer collection, or it may just be their spring collection, and they'll have a big party. Some of the magazines, some of the trade magazines have parties up there. Architectural Digest has one each market. Traditional Home a lot of times has one. You really do start knowing the designers and you start making friends. So it's just great networking in general. I mean, we will set up a lunch or two with some other designers from other towns. And it's kind of just, again, networking and learning from one another. but they're really full days. And High Point Market also, I think there's a couple evenings of concerts by well-known artists. There's really nonstop. Like, you really don't go to your hotel or whatever and hang out very much. I mean, there's events, there's parties, and High Point Market website is excellent because if you go to their events tab, they almost list everything. Like, they do it by day. So you can, if you know Saturday you want to do a little more time for educational seminars or a CEU or whatever. Some of them do require an RSVP and some of them require like a ticket. There will be a handful that might charge for different things, but there aren't very many of those. But you can RSVP on the High Point Market website and or just find out which ones or where and when and everything.
So if you were talking to somebody, maybe not quite like me, because I'm not an interior designer, but let's say you were talking to a group of interior designers that were going to market for the very first time, what would be your top 3 tips that you would tell them to prepare before they go, and then maybe 3 things that are a must to do when they're there?
I think beforehand, I would get familiar. There's a great map on the High Point Market website. I think you have to get familiar with the layout of the city because the market it's located really within the whole town of High Point, well, downtown High Point. And I would really encourage a first timer to definitely, if they know they have some favorite showrooms, or again, if they're an interior designer, they have accounts with certain vendors, that I would encourage them to make appointments. Like right now, our designers for our firm are booking all our market appointments. Like right now, like we're actively putting our calendar together. We started last week and they'll probably finish it by the end of this week. So I would say kind of set an agenda, and you want to group your appointments probably by building or at least like section of market. The IHFC building is kind of the main building that's right at the transportation terminal. Again, I would probably book quite a few of the showroom appointments for one afternoon just to do in that building. And then another day, we may be down in the Hamilton Wren district, and, a lot of our vendors are down there. So we'll book 4 or 5 of those for like one afternoon. So I guess the top thing would be I don't know if I would totally go and just try to wing it, because I think you might waste a lot of time and really not get the value out of it. And again, if you have an account with Century and Bernhard and Hickory White and Vanguard, you can plug all of those in on the website and it'll tell you their exact location. So I guess kind of strategize a little bit, but then I would also recommend that you keep some time. Maybe you do keep a free afternoon or you keep a free morning, so that if you do get to market and you find out there's a great showroom you've never heard of before, or if you want to go back to a great showroom, I would allow a little fluff time too, if that makes sense, and not just have it so structured. But I think if you just go with no plan whatsoever, you just may miss some fantastic things. So it does take a little bit of pre-market planning.
Do you remember the first time you went to market?
I do. And luckily, again, I believe it was when I was in college. It was either my senior year in college or it was right after I graduated. But I went with a group, other interior designers, one of who I was working with, and they were pros. So they knew how to already get around, and they knew what showrooms we were going to do. So I kind of just tagged along and became a sponge and learned and probably did that my first couple markets. And probably certainly by the third market, you really get the lay of the land and you know how you want to tackle it. And it's just different in that it's kind of, again, all over this downtown, and you're just not in one big single convention center or something. But it is fun I love to browse through Inner Hall, which is the first floor of the IHFC building, because those are temporary booths, and some of the new vendors, new designers show there. And I love to walk through like the suites at Market Square. I love to go through the antique district. So some of it I would allow just browsing time. But if you know of certain showrooms, you for sure want to see, whether it's Baker or whatever, usually you need an appointment to get in because they're just busy. At market, designers and furniture stores are coming to market to place large orders. So the sale reps are busy, and, you just want to make sure someone can see you. Are
there any things that are already planned that these are these are things I'm not missing?
We will most likely do the Architectural Digest party. I believe that's on our calendar. I moderate Style Spotter Live on Tuesday mornings. And again, that's where I sit down with the 8 other Style Spotters, and it's a huge breakfast, the 11th floor of the IHFC building, and I believe it's the Green Ballroom. But they serve a big sit-down breakfast. We talk about, it's a big audio-visual presentation about each of the Style Spotters' 25 selections, and we talk about them. And usually from that presentation or seminar, some themes develop, or styles or trends or color stories that we can all kind of take back with us. So that's, to me, that's a highlight. And again, last market, it was standing room only. If it is something your listeners are interested in, please RSVP on the website. Again, if you go under events and go to Tuesday, it'll be the 9 a.m. And I think that's like a not miss. I mean, all the designers from my firm always go to that, and they even enjoy it because they really get to, you really hear like the high notes of High Point, if you will, and the hottest thing. So it's a good recap. And then another thing that's really fun is that most of the Style Spotters will then lead some private VIP tours to a couple showrooms of their choice. So they usually take a group of like 10 to 20 people to a showroom, kind of for a behind the scenes VIP tour. So the attendees from the breakfast could break up to groups and also go on these Style Spotter trend tours. And that's always a big event. So that would be another thing I would say that you wouldn't want to miss. I usually definitely recommend trying to get in one of the seminars or presentations or CEUs. I mean, there's at least dozens of them going on during market, if not over 100 of them. So my staff and we always try to fit in at least a couple of those, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those during market, depending, how big our client load is. So I would definitely recommend that. I would recommend, if you're not staying at the Proximity Hotel, the Proximity in Greensboro, it's kind of the who's who of the design world. It's kind of fun to go there and see a lot of, if you will, celebrity designers. And so we're usually out there 1 or 2 evenings, and that's a lot of fun. So I would say that's kind of a must see. Those are probably my top. During market, again, I would just say it's about meeting people and seeing other friends, past friends you've made there. It's been fun as a Style Spotter. I've gotten to know a lot of the executives of the furniture companies, and we have a lot of great relationships. So we always try to make a point to spend some time with them. And, it's just a great twice a year social, collaborative, just all these talent in one place. So it's just fun to go see old friends and make new friends, really. So most of the showrooms also, which is kind of unique, again, when I say Southern Hospitalities, but quite a few of the furniture showrooms put on very nice breakfasts, lunch, and dinners. And kind of once you get a lay of the land, you can also kind of start figuring out where you might want to eat, because they serve, these great meals, and you can get like a full-on dinner. Sometimes we'll even book some of our showroom appointments according to where we know there's a great lunch or whatever. I know that's horrible, but the manufacturers are just so gracious, again, in meals and snacks and drinks and so forth. It's really one big party after one big party is basically the synopsis. So
nice. I like that. It seems like most of the time when I'm hanging out with designers, that's pretty much what happens.
I know. It's a recurring theme. Is that what you're saying?
It is. Lots of food, lots of drink. So it's fantastic.
Basically, eat your way through High Point, but you're walking so much that
right.
It doesn't really matter. Like, some of my designers wore Fitbits last market, and it's like 20,000 plus a day steps. It's crazy. So just FYI. So you can eat a lot, but hopefully we're walking it off.
So then I won't feel guilty when I'm having a drink and having some good Southern barbecue or something like that down there.
Yeah, exactly.
So when does everything kick off?
Well, it's funny. Market begins on Saturday, the 16th, and there will be kind of like a kickoff breakfast seminar. But the dirty little secret is most of the showrooms are open. Well, really all of them are open Friday the 15th. So that's when we begin. We get there on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Style Spotters themselves, actually this year it's really exciting. We're having our first ever Style Spotter reunion cocktail party early Friday evening. So it's all the Style Spotters from the past. And then with the 2016 Style Spotters, we're having a party. So that's fun. And then the 2016 Style Spotters will then go into a dinner. We always have a dinner for the group of the current Style Spotters. But I suspect usually the day before market officially starts, market's usually gearing up and it's already pretty busy.
I bet it's probably starts gearing up Wednesday would be my guess.
Yeah, it does. I mean, some of the showrooms are still getting put together, but sometimes by Thursday, definitely there. Friday, it's kind of full throttle. But then on the other hand, I find by Wednesday, the following week, it really starts powering down. Like Wednesday, a lot of folks have left. So I always try to encourage people even to come at the beginning of market and be there for the weekend, because that's when there's the most energy, probably the biggest parties and so forth. So
Sure.
So hopefully you're coming early, or at least towards the beginning.
Well, I fly in on Thursday, and then I'll be driving into High Point on Friday morning. So I wanted to get a good start, a head start before all the craziness started.
Yeah, and I recommend that. I mean, it seems again like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday nights. There's always definitely just a lot of different functions and parties and everything. So
oh goodness,
you want to be there for it.
Yeah, well, everything I'm seeing on social media, everyone's starting to talk about it already. I have a feeling it's going to be a whirlwind. I'm super excited. I've invited, if folks are out there listening to the show and they know they are going to High Point to connect with me, I'd love to meet up with different folks that are there. Michelle, what I would love to do is set some time, and we can do this offline, but to set up some time where you and I can have a conversation. We'll talk a little bit about your design business, because it sounds like you are just killing it down in Tampa.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I would love to meet you, and I would love to share more. We're excited about things. So a lot of exciting things are happening. So that would be great. I would look forward to that. So
that sounds great. Well, we'll definitely get together in High Point, and I always tell people where's the best place for folks to connect with you, but do you want to send them to the High Point Market website? What should we do?
Yeah, it's just highpointmarket.org. Again, they've laid it out pretty good, finding exhibitors, events, tips, insight. They even do some great videos. I know I've done a couple videos just kind of showing some of my favorite things at market. It helps you plan your trip. If they would want to reach out to me for any reason, I am on social media. I'm Studio M with an underscore on Twitter, Instagram. We're Studio M Interiors on Facebook, but I would certainly answer any questions about High Point Market as well. So
awesome. We will send folks over to that website if people want more information about becoming a style spotter in the future, or whatever other questions they may have, then they can connect with you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, thanks so much for your time today, Michelle.
Yes, thank you so much for asking me to be on. And again, I love your podcast. I think you're going to just love Market, and I'll look forward to meeting you there.
Sounds good. We'll see you in Market.
Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, a little bit shorter of a show today, but it's a bonus show, so extra bonus. So it's not a long hour program like we normally do, but I think it was filled with fantastic information, especially if you're planning to go to High Point, North Carolina. If you haven't planned, it might not be too late. I don't know. I know that it's kind of tough to get hotel arrangements at this point, but I will say that Market happens twice a year. So like we talked about in the interview with Michelle, if it's too late for you, I would say October is right around the corner. And it's not too early to start booking your travel arrangements for the fall show. So as I always do at the end of the program, I need to remind you, please give me an iTunes review. That just helps other people find us. I love getting the feedback. If you go through the reviews that I've had, they're fantastic. Like, I love the detail and just the comments that are made in the iTunes reviews. So if you haven't seen those, go over there and check those out. It's kind of fantastic. And if you don't know how to leave an iTunes review, go to my Facebook page, because I uploaded a video, a tutorial, if you will, how to leave an iTunes review. So it'll step you through the whole entire process, because Apple has not made this thing very simple, which is weird because everything else Apple makes is super intuitive and super simple. But this one thing, not so much. Until next time, I'm Nick May, reminding you to keep dreaming big and keep designing a great design business. See you in High Point.